大家好。
Welcome, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference on budget initiatives under the Education Bureau and the Labor and Welfare Bureau. We have with us Mr. Chris Sun, Secretary for Labor and Welfare, and Dr. Choi, Secretary for Education. They will deliver opening speeches before taking questions from the floor. Mr. Sun?
OK 啦，好。
All right. Let's have a photo call first.
OK。
Ready? All right. Let's hear from Mr. Chris Sun. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to spend some time taking you through the budget initiatives 2026 to 27 under the Labor and Welfare Bureau. I'm going to touch upon measures in relation to labor and welfare. First of all, we need to build a caring and inclusive society. It is important that we show our care for the elderly. There are two schemes using the principle of money following the user. We have already increased the number of beneficiaries. First of all, for the residential care service vouchers for the elderly, we are going to increase the number by 1,000, bringing the total to 7,000 in the coming financial year. As for elderly people receiving services in society, that is the Community Care Service Voucher Scheme for the elderly. In the next financial year, the number will increase to 16,000. We will also think how we can mobilize market forces. We want to improve service capacity overall. In communities with more middle-class families, the government has already implemented some measures. There are daycare centers, and we can mobilize market forces. The first testing point is Lohas Park in Changkwon-no. We are going to see if we can use market forces in this area. For elderly people in Hong Kong, they can choose to retire in Hong Kong. Apart from that, they can also choose to retire in the Chinese mainland, especially for those who are weaker and who meet the requirement to stay at residential care homes. They can choose to enroll in the residential care service scheme in Guangdong. At present, there are a total of 26 care homes covered under this scheme, covering all 9 mainland cities in the GBA. Then they can enjoy subsidized services in full in the GBA. Since the end of December last year, apart from the care homes in the GBA, we have a pilot scheme on medical subsidy under the scheme. For the elderly people who have joined the Guangdong scheme, if they see a doctor in the Chinese mainland, usually they can apply for a resident permit. And in 8 cities out of a total of 9 cities, they can take out medical insurance. They need to pay a co-payment fee. And we are going to provide subsidies of at most 10,000 for outpatient services. As for inpatient services, they can get $30,000. For those enrolling in the Guangdong scheme and the Fujian scheme, they may be recipients of the CSSA, OALA, and so on. and they can choose to have the payments remitted directly into their designated mainland bank accounts. We mainly want to provide convenience to elderly people. This is what we can do to help elderly people in Hong Kong. The Financial Secretary said in his budget speech on Wednesday that for recipients of the CSSA, OALA disability allowance as well as the Working Family Allowance Scheme, there will be a one-off extra payment to these recipients. This is indeed music to the ears of those receiving these allowances. In addition, we will also increase the number of day residential and preschool rehabilitation service places by about 450. After giving birth to children, parents place emphasis on care for their children. Hence, the demand for aided standalone childcare center is quite high. At present, we have over 1,530 places in these aided standalone childcare centers, and we are going to add an additional 15 centers. There will be an additional quota of 1,500. In other words, 3 to 4 years later, the total quota will reach 3,000. That is about a double. We hope the supply can meet the demand in the community. I'd like to talk about one important scheme, that is in the on-site preschool rehabilitation services. At the stage of kindergarten, appropriate services are provided to these kindergarten children. After these children graduate from kindergarten, some parents asked whether we could provide assistance as these children proceed to primary schools. When K3 students graduate from kindergarten and move on to primary 1, we provide a service that is a bridging and support service starting from this school year for target children receiving the OPRS. We want to help these children to settle into the life in primary schools. We believe this is hugely beneficial for these children. We expect that the extra expenditure is about $260 million. Regarding talent and manpower, we will continue to attract global talent to Hong Kong through different talent admission schemes. We want to develop Hong Kong into a hub of high-caliber international talent. Within this year, we're going to introduce legislative amendments to the Legislative Council. One, we need to enhance the function of the Employees Returning Board. The direction of the ERB is skills-based training, and we are going to rename the ERB to Upskill Hong Kong. Looking ahead, the Upskill Hong Kong, that is the existing ERB, will cover different AI application courses. We aim to provide support for local workers. We want to help them upskill themselves so that they can meet the demand and challenges in the workplace in the future. In addition, targeting people aged 50 or above, we have added 2 more training courses. Next, when it comes to the Hong Kong Talent Engage, they will continue to strengthen efforts in attracting global talent. We will also enlarge our partner circle. We want to make good use of these talent admission schemes to attract more talent to Hong Kong. In the week starting the 18th and the 19th, we are going to hold the World Talent Summit. Throughout the entire week, there will be a wide array of events. Our aim is to develop Hong Kong into a hub of high-caliber talent. This is pretty much my introduction to the labor and welfare initiatives. Thank you.
Dr. Chai. Fellow citizens and media friends, good afternoon. Education is key to cultivating talent. To the rapid development of the nation's education sector, Hong Kong's education is also embarking on a crucial development course, and we are committed to building an international education hub, gathering talent and resources, and strengthen our international academic influence. We will deepen digital education transformation to reshape teaching landscape through technology. We will equip the younger generation to embrace the opportunities brought by the AI era. I will now focus on the key initiatives in the education sector in the 2026-27 fiscal year. In building an international education hub, Hong Kong's higher education institutions have achieved outstanding international rankings, and the high-quality research environment have gained widespread recognition. This showcases the strength of Hong Kong's higher education and reflects the government's long-term commitment to investing in education and the effectiveness of various measures to enhance education competitiveness. We are currently holding our first Study in Hong Kong Week through API Conference and Exhibition and the International Symposium of the Alliance of Universities of Applied Sciences. We are promoting our education strengths in a comprehensive way and share our advantages with guests from all over the world. We promote Hong Kong's education sector's advantages and the Study in Hong Kong and Study Tours in Hong Kong brands. We'll make use of the Task Force on Study in Hong Kong mechanism, and we work in conjunction with ETOs to strengthen collaboration with them to go different countries, conducting targeted activities to promote Hong Kong's rich academic research and international cooperation resources. The UGC has already earmarked $40 million in the 3 years, 2025 to 28, for the 8 UGC-funded institutions to promote the Study in Hong Kong brand. The Northern Metropolis University Town provides opportunities for capacity expansion and improvement of quality of our higher education, and help Hong Kong to scale new heights in our academic research work. To further accelerate the development of the university town, the government in the short term will roll out 3 sites in Hong Shui Kiu, Harchin, NDAs for campus development of UGC-funded institutions and universities of applied sciences for campus development. We will also earmark $10 billion for providing loans for campus development. We are also committed to shaping the education landscape through digitalization in the age of AI era and develop new advantages in line with the nation's strategy of invigorating the country through science and technology and promoting innovation. And we target to establish Hong Kong as an international innovation hub. Hong Kong, as our government, will promote integrated development of education, technology, and talent. And the EDB has also intensified efforts to promote digital education. In the 3 academic years, starting 2025-26, UGC-funded institutions will provide an additional 27 undergraduate programs related to STEAM, covering AI, creative industries, and data science, creating opportunities for young people to exploit their advantages, and interdisciplinary courses will be offered to combine technology and traditional sectors to cultivate talents with diversified skills. As for self-financing institutions, starting the 2027-28 academic year, priority will be given for AI program to be included in the study subsidy scheme for designated professions and sectors. We encourage the institutions to offer such programs to cultivate the INT talents. We also support the VTC to include AI application in compulsory modules on IT in all of its higher ed diploma programs to ensure that their talents can meet with the future changing needs. As for primary and secondary education, $2 billion has been set aside under the QEF to enhance curriculum, strengthen teacher training, optimize digital education infrastructure, and provide resources for schools, of which $500 million starting from 2025 and 26. That will be used for the 3-year AI for empowering learning and teaching funding program starting 2025-26. Each successful applicant will be granted a one-off grant of $500,000 to acquire infrastructure and tools to incorporate AI in their teaching and learning curriculum. School-based AI education will also be offered up to the 25th of February. We have already received applications from 960 schools, accounting for 99% of all government-subsidized schools. This shows schools are very positive in response to embarking on AI education, to plan and implement to enhance the professional capacity of schools to plan and implement digital education 27, 25, and 26. A series of AI training programs will be offered, including AI literacy, AI plus subjects and leadership, and AI-empowered smart teaching, school leadership, and AI literacy for teachers. A total of 40,000 places will be offered. So all teachers in government-subsidized schools will be able to participate, and their professional capacity will be enhanced. We aim to achieve an AI for all subjects target. We will continue to upgrade and enhance teaching quality. We will care about the physical and mental health of students. We will regularize the 3-tier school-based emergency mechanism in secondary schools that will be extended to primary 4 to 6 on a trial basis. We will also continue to promote mental health on campus through the 4RS Mental Health Charter. We will also attach importance to the generic skills of students, including language skills and capacity to have cross-cultural exchanges. We will consolidate our advantages in biliteracy and trilingualism to enhance our competitiveness. We will also recruit language ambassadors, and the EDB will also be constructing the English self-learning programs, incorporating AI elements. We will be innovative in our strategies. We will enrich the students' English learning capabilities and enhance their English capability. In all, we are committed to investing in education as a way to invest in the future. We will drive the high-quality development of education. We would exploit our advantages, gather resources and talents, and we will use technologies to empower ourselves. We will equip our younger generations so that they can embrace the future and contribute to the development of the nation in Hong Kong.
Thank you. The floor is open for questions. Please identify yourself when you're called upon. You're limited to 2 questions. Thank you. The one in the middle row. Thank you. I'm from Mengpao. I'd like to ask Dr. Choi regarding education expenses. There's an increase in the expenditure on education, but education expenses are on a decline. It is a record low in 2 decades. I'd like to ask why. Regarding kindergarten subsidies, 2 subsidies in relation to kindergartens have been scrapped. The resources for kindergartens have been tight. What about the demand for substitute teachers? Schools will be under a lot of pressure and burden if subsidies are further going to be cut. What is your response? Regarding the university town, the loan is about $10 billion. What is the quota for each school? When will schools have to repay the loan? University of Applied Sciences can make an application. What about self-financing schools? Have you looked at the situation? Well, thank you. Dr. Choi, thank you. Regarding your first question, that is education expenses, there's a drop in its ratio to the overall government expenditure. Since reunification, education responses have been on the increase. That is what we can see from the actual figures. there's indeed growth. But we have to understand that there are obvious changes to the population structure in Hong Kong. The birth rate is going down rapidly. That's why the overall student population is dropping. That is what we can see. Therefore, alongside the population changes, structural decline, and school-age population structural decline, indeed, what we can see is that in relation to education, comparing with other areas such as aging population, healthcare expenditure, it seems that education expenditure is decreasing. But in fact, the government has not deducted any investment in local education. With population structure changes, we can see the most significant drop in the kindergarten population. As for higher secondary or post-secondary education, we can see an increase in the number of students in this regard. Therefore, we are making flexible use of our resources. Regarding the 2 subsidies for kindergartens, the government has the goal of implementing a cut of 2% across all bureaus, but then for kindergartens, our subsidies remain unchanged. We have considered the fact that kindergartens bear the brunt against a backdrop of a declining population. We indeed understand that they are undergoing challenges. 2 subsidies in total are to be scrapped. That is, one for kindergarten activities and the other for hiring substitute teachers. Therefore, when it comes to optimizing resources and streamlining administrative procedures, we have a task force to see how we can make better use of public funds when it comes to kindergartens, primary schools, and secondary schools. Our goal is that we need to remove barriers, make flexible use of resources, and we also need to enhance efficiency. At the same time, we need to make good use of public funds. These are the principles we go by. And you have noticed there are about a dozen subsidies for kindergartens. Kindergartens vary in sizes. The environments are flexible. They vary from one to another. That's why, with the development of AI, students have different learning experience in kindergartens. And we are going to see the commissioning of the Student Activity Center for kindergartens as well. These are the factors we have taken into account. Scrapping the above-mentioned 2 subsidies will have the least impact on the quality of teaching and learning for kindergartens. What about the burden on hiring substitute teachers? In fact, we have another mechanism whereby kindergartens can make an application for fee reimbursement. If teachers need to undergo training and if there is a demand for hiring substitute teachers, kindergartens can make an application for reimbursing the funds. This is a measure to help kindergarten. Therefore, kindergarten teachers will not lack professional training opportunities because of the fact that the substitute teacher subsidies has been scrapped. Regarding the $10 billion fund of the Northern Metropolis development, we have been liaising with different stakeholders. There are applied sciences, and there is also the traditional stream of academic studies. So whether it be traditional universities or University of Applied Sciences, all of them are included in the development of the Northern Metropolis. Regarding the development direction, we have been holding briefing sessions with different educational institutions. We have already received their expression of interest. We have already collated their views. That's why In planning our way forward, including our loan plans, we have already taken into account the preliminary proposals and thoughts of the institutions. We will try our best to dovetail with the plan to fast-track the development of the Northern Metropolis. For the $10 billion of loan application, we're going to walk schools through the relevant details. Thank you. The one in the last row, the one in gray. Secretary, good afternoon. I'm from TMHK. I have 3 questions. First, education expenses hit a bottom low in 2 decades. Are you worried that people will think that you are attaching much importance to developing higher education at the expense of kindergarten, secondary, and primary schools? Can you tell us why you have to scrap 2 subsidies targeting kindergartens? Are you worried that there will be less space for kindergartens to operate in Hong Kong? Just now you mentioned that 3 parcels of land in the Northern Metropolis will be set aside for the university town. Will they be 3 different educational institutions, or 1 educational institution can apply for more than 1 parcel of land? Secretary, thank you. As I mentioned, we have population changes in Hong Kong. Healthcare, social welfare, there are different adjustments in these areas. If you take a closer look at the actual situation, for the average cost of secondary, primary, and kindergarten student, the cost is actually increasing. For primary school students, on average, the cost has gone up by 8% or so. Going back to education quality, the ratio between teachers and students is 1 to 11.6 and 1 to 11.8 for secondary schools and primary schools respectively. For kindergarten, the ratio stands at 1 to 11. We can see that for these ratios, there's been an increase. We are keeping this ratio. For the expenses of secondary schools, they have taken the lion's share of our education expenses, whereas for higher secondary education, or for higher education, they rank second. With the rapid development of higher education in Hong Kong, together with the needs for talent in Hong Kong, we have different courses, that is vocational education, university, applied sciences and so on. We have seen an increase in these areas. That also covers the study subsidy scheme for designated professions and sectors. We need to rise to the challenges in this era. We need to dovetail with Hong Kong's direction to be developed into 8 major centers. We place a strong emphasis on the diversified pathways for students in Hong Kong. That's why not only do we improve quality of education, but we also act according to the changes of the population. We move with the times. As I mentioned, the 2 subsidies targeting kindergartens will be adjusted. If we take a look at the expenditure for kindergartens, and if we need to improve the schemes, probably we will have to make a deduction. That is a way to respond to the government's policy to enhance productivity. We need to adopt an approach that has the least impact on the operation of kindergartens. Actually, there are replacements for the scrapped subsidies targeting kindergartens, as I mentioned, comparing with primary, secondary schools and universities. The decrease of 2% from these areas, whereas for kindergartens, the decrease is lower. The two subsidies totaled $40 million, whereas for the total expenditure for kindergartens, the figure totals $60 million, and we have already taken into account the challenges facing kindergartens. As for the 3 parcels of land in the Northern Metropolis, we will go by the established land approval mechanism. Publicly funded universities, University of Applied Sciences, will take forward this initiative together. Well, I believe a school will have to take into account its own fiscal position if it is going to apply for all 3 parcels of land. Thank you.
Next one. I have a question for Mr. Sun. The FS told the LegCo in an answer to members' questions something, and some members were dissatisfied with the cut in social welfare expenditure. How would you respond to that? And then the FS also said that if there are specific needs, the LWB will think of ways to helping the organizations. How would you do that? Now, for the $2 concession fee and come the 80% discount, it is said that it will be implemented in April this year. But we are close to April, and we don't see anything being mentioned. So are you making preparation for the concession scheme to be implemented? Which organization are you from? Cable TV. Thank you for your question. A total of 3 questions. First is about the expenditure on welfare, social welfare. The FS, in last year's budget, has talked about the productivity enhancement program, which applies to all government expenditure. The lump sum grant for social welfare organization also comes from the government. So that's why we have to follow the fiscal discipline as set out by the FS. So we have to work on it. And last year we have done a lot to help the 179 subvented social welfare organizations so that we can make the best use of resources. There are several key projects. First is in relation to small and medium-sized organizations, which make up a majority of all the organizations. In total, we have to cut 7% of our expenditure. The SWD has thought of ways and means, and ultimately we are showing 4% of the cut, which means that the small and medium-sized organizations have to shoulder only 3% of the reduction. For large-scale organizations, they have to think hard to make the best use of their productivity to achieve the 7% productivity gain. And at the same time, we are helping organizations to make the best use of resources, say through administrative streamlining and making the best use of the reserves, use them flexibly, and we also remove restrictions. We are already doing that, and we are also closely cooperating with the social welfare organizations. Now, if they apply for funding from other departments, and they have to share some of the costs. Now, we are very clear about that. If you are applying for dedicated funding from other government departments, so there is no question of cost apportionment now. So that has helped a number of organizations already. You must be talking about Reverend Peter Kuhn. I met with him because that was his spring dinner of the Hong Kong Council of Social Services. We are good friends, and I've talked to him on that occasion. And we have 2 social welfare representatives on the LegCo, Reverend Peter Kuhn and Ms. Chen Wen-chai, and they are. And we will put our heads together. And the government funding takes up a large proportion of the funding of the NGOs, and many NGOs are also raising their own funds, and they have different sources of income. So can we do more in removing barriers and restrictions in government procedures so that they can help more their service recipients. And then you also mentioned about the $2 concession fare or the 80% discount fare subsidy. Well, last year we talked the same. That was raised in the last year's budget. So the $2 concession will be turned into $2 into 80% discount arrangement. So for fare below $10, it will still be $2. But for fare above $10, then there will be 80% discount. I.e., for $20, it will be paying $4. So that will be implemented in April this year. And we are almost done with our preparatory work. And at appropriate time and occasion, we will make the relevant announcement. And we will suggest that it be implemented in April. We will tread carefully because a number of octopus machines are involved, and we must ensure that all systems and all devices will be adjusted accurately before we implement the program. And in the past year, we have worked full steam on this project, and we have already done all the adjustment work, and we are in the last leg of our program, and we will be making the detailed announcement at an appropriate time. The next one, the lady in the vest in the middle. I'm from Wenwei Pao. Mr. Sun, or Ms. Choi, rather, Dr. Choi. $500 million will be earmarked for school-based AI programs. What about the remaining amount? Where will it be used? And what are your considerations? The EDB said that it will announce the digital education blueprint for secondary and primary schools. When will that be done? And also the budget mentions that you will encourage institutions to offer high-value study tours. Are there institutions which are now working on this? Thank you. On your first question, we are earmarking $2 billion to support primary and secondary education to embark on digital education transformation, of which $500 million will be open for application by primary and secondary schools to launch skill-based AI programs, and each school will get $500,000. And 99% of all schools in Hong Kong have already made an application. As for the $1.5 billion remaining, we know that the key to driving transformation lies in teachers. So some part of it will be used for teacher training. And as I mentioned, 40,000 places will be offered in teacher training. We will ensure that all teachers in Hong Kong will have the chance to receive training on digital education and AI. And there will also be targeted measures for different subjects and different positions in the schools. Say, for example, there will be also training on AI leadership. I think the platform also matters a lot. So we will also be earmarking certain portion of the budget to roll out such digital education platform, and also infrastructure needs money. So the $1.5 billion will be expended on these fronts to expedite our digital education transformation and to accelerate the implementation of AI programs in the schools to equip our students to meet the challenges in AI. Now, as for the AI digital education blueprint for primary education and secondary schools, and we have set up a dedicated steering committee to work on it, and they have already mapped out the direction and the key aspects of this blueprint. The initial draft has already been prepared, and we envisage that within this year we will be announcing this blueprint, and we are looking forward to it. And we also emphasize that AI literacy for students is also important, also the ethics aspect, and also the teachers. Well, the AI application in learning and teaching are also important. And I will run through all, say, the management and the campus and so on. So the blueprint will set out all these clearly. We will be highlighting the key focuses and our strategies. Now, as for study tour in Hong Kong and also the relevant and the study in Hong Kong brand, and different universities, they have their own unique characteristics, and we don't require the universities to report to us. But for this, for the ongoing conference, education conference in Hong Kong now, this is an important education forum worldwide, and at this conference, universities will be promoting their own projects. And for Hong Kong, in terms of AI and AI application, I think Hong Kong is an attractive place for people to come to start their projects. And I know that some universities will also embark on study tours in Hong Kong projects. And also, there are also programs, experiential programs in relation to finance to be offered by universities. All these are in the pipeline.
In the interest of time, the last two questions, please. The reporter in front. Good afternoon. I'm from News. I'd like to ask Dr. Choi, how is the Education Bureau going to dovetail with the 15-5-year plan? How are you going to harness artificial intelligence to develop Hong Kong, to develop our country in a leading country in education? Thank you. As I already said in my opening speech, we need to dovetail with the 15-5-year plan. We need to contribute to our country. Digital transformation is indeed one of the focuses. In the budget speech this year, secondary schools, primary schools, VPET, university education, all these are covered under the budget. There are measures targeting these areas. Say for secondary and primary schools, there are $2 billion to take forward the digital transformation for education in Hong Kong. When it comes to VPET, we have required all higher diploma programs in the VTC to include AI application in the compulsory modules on information technology. The aim is to equip our students with basic computer and AI literacy. As for undergraduate programs at university, we request that AI-related programs and STEAM-related programs should be given priority to be included in the studies subsidy scheme for designated professions or sectors. We also require that at least 35% of the programs at university need to be related to STEAM. In the coming 3 years, universities will create 30 programs in relation to AI or STEAM. This shows that we attach much importance to the national goal of developing our country into a leading one in education in accordance with the 15-5-year plan. Thank you. The one in the last row, the one on the right. Thank you. I'm from Commercial Radio. I'd like to ask Dr. Choi first. In the budget last year, the student grant of $2,500 was axed. There isn't any mention in this year's budget. What is the reason for this? Do we need to assess the current situation in Hong Kong? As for the AI for all training involving an amount of $50 million, do you have any details? What is the ratio? Would it be spent on corporate training, seminars? What are the details? Can you share with us? I'd like to ask Mr. Sun. In the budget this year, there is no further financial commitment to talent admission schemes. Is it because fewer people are applying for extension? Do we still have sufficient resources? Do we still need to increase resources in this regard? Thank you. Dr. Choi, please. Regarding the student grant, we already explained it last year. In education expenses, we want to focus on the high-quality development of education in Hong Kong. As for the student grants, there wasn't any criterion. All students could receive this grant. However, if we want to provide targeted support, especially in the face of a fiscal deficit, we do need to pull our resources into the most needed in Hong Kong. 8% of the education expenses is spent on subsidies and allowances for students that include transportation, textbooks, meals, and so on. That is why going forward, when we need to improve the use of resources, we will still have to focus on improving the high-quality education in Hong Kong. In addition, we also need to focus on helping the students that need the resources the most. As for the AI for all training, totaling $50 million, Professor Sun already explained in the press conference yesterday. Some reporters also asked about AI training. We have relevant measures at different levels, secondary schools, primary schools, and kindergarten. We help teachers to improve their AI literacy as well as AI ethics training. That's why all these have been included in our education planning. And in all of the higher diploma programs of the VTC, we already require AI application be included in the compulsory modules on information technology. This shows all policy bureaus within the government are working full steam ahead to dovetail with the 15th five-year plan of our country. Thank you. Mr. Sun, thank you for your questions. We attract talent from overseas by way of policies. We make good use of the institutional strengths of Hong Kong. That is exactly how we attract global talent to Hong Kong. It is not the case that we must pull resources into attracting talent. From the end of 2022 to now, we have been attracting talent through different schemes, such as the Top Talent Pass scheme, that is TTPS. We also have been making enhancements to our TTPS and as well as other talent admission schemes. We don't need many resources. We have already established Hong Kong Talent Engage. There are about 30 people or so responsible for this area. Their expenditure is under the purview of the Labour and Welfare Bureau. We do not need to ask for additional resources. We already increased the amount of visa and permit targeting talent admission schemes last year. We have requested the new application fee, and all these will generate revenue for the public coffers in Hong Kong. This is exactly how we can continue to develop Hong Kong into a hub for high-caliber talent. Thank you. That is the end of the press conference today. Thank you.